party going on, laughing and dancing, ooh, romancing. Everyone's invited but me. I'm feeling just as sad as can be. Across the street, through my window I can see there's my best friend Billy. Ooh, with my Lily, making out behind my back, like all the other wolves in the pack. Across the street.
Don't you know you're better off, so say the lyrics now. Should never be faithful to a single guy.
Oh, no, 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 say it isn't so. There ain't no way for me to say goodbye. Across the street, gonna go and get my Lily, make her feel silly. Ooh, knock out Billy, there's a lesson she's got to learn. I will love her so she'll never return. Across the street. Across the street, gonna go and get my Lily, make her feel silly. Ooh, knock out Billy, there's a lesson she's got to learn. I will love her so she'll never return. Across the street, hey, across the street, gonna go and get my Lily. I'm gonna go and
Lenny O. Henry and the Four Seasons, by the way.
All right.
You know who told me that?
Who?
Marty Callahan.
Oh, well, he would know. Miss that guy.
Taught me something that day. Mr. X, baby, come back home. I'm cooking dinner.
Sitting here thinking while I'm drinking, 'cause I wanna know, will you come back home? Oh, babe, I knew we'd been fussing and fighting, and I knew it wasn't right, but I wanna know, when are you coming home? Oh, baby, come home. Baby, come home. Come home. Baby, come home. I'm tossing and turning in my sleep, and I'm thinking about you and me, and how we used to be so in love, so in love. I can't hardly go to work, and I don't want to go to church, 'cause I know I treated you wrong. Baby, come home. Baby, come back home. Come home. I need you, miss you so. Girl, I need you so. Baby, come back home. Will you come back home? Come back to yeah. Girl, I can't sleep, I can't eat without you. I won't be happy till you come back to me. I need your love, got to have you, girl. So please, won't you come back to me? My friends don't understand that you're my lady. My friends don't understand that I'm your man. I need to have you right by my side. I need you, I want you, got to have your love, yeah. Baby, come back home. Come back home, girl, yeah. I need you, miss you so. I need you so. I'm lonely, come back home. Girl, I'm so lonely, 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 too lonely, girl. Baby, come back home. Come back to me, girl. I need you, miss you so. I can't sleep, my baby. Come back home. I can't eat now, baby.
Check, 1, 2. Check, check. Yep.
Come back home. Ooh, come back to love. Ooh, baby, come back home. Ooh, I need you.
Let me tell you about a fantastic weekend celebrating two of the biggest names in the beach music industry and taking place at a world-famous venue. Friday, September 1st at the Spanish Galleon in North Myrtle Beach is the one and only Chad Sane, celebrating his 30th year as a DJ with special guests, the Fantastic Shakers. And that's just to kick the weekend off.
You left the yearning in my heart. And
blues at or near the top of the charts. It's all from Inland Groove and the Field Insurance Agency, with the best prices for all of South Carolina since 1968. For your personal and commercial insurance needs, call them toll-free at 855.
Z-Max Racing Classics, Friday afternoons at 1 o'clock from the Performance Racing Network, right here on 1590 AM WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia.
NCN News, I'm Bruce Farrell. Reaction pouring in when it comes to the North Korean nuclear situation. Former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations and former Governor of New Mexico, Bill Richardson, has this advice on how the U.S. should handle North Korea.
It's an ego thing with them, and we should be prepared to engage them in some capacity on a deal that involves them tamping down their ballistic missile activity, their nuclear activity, in exchange for a dialogue that might lead to an understanding.
As the 2017 Atlantic hurricane season enters its peak period, government forecasters say the likelihood of above-average activity has increased since their last forecast in May. NOAA hurricane specialist Dr. Jerry Bell says this could be the most active hurricane season since 2010.
The likelihood of an above-normal season has increased to 60%, and that's up from 45% in our May forecast. The likelihood of a near-normal season has decreased to 30%, which is down from 35% in May.
Bell says forecasters now expect 14 to 19 named storms, including 6 named storms we've already seen. 5 to 9 could become hurricanes, 2 to 5 could become major. The Wake County Sheriff's Office has identified a drowning victim on Falls Lake as 19-year-old Annalisa Christine Schultz of Wake Forest. Wake County Sheriff Donnie Harrison says there are some unanswered questions.
We don't know. I mean, like I say, when we got the body in place, didn't touch anything, and so we're just waiting until CCBI does their thing.
The investigation continues. A Wilmington woman killed this morning after she jumped from a moving truck and was run over by that same truck. The Wilmington Police Department reporting 36-year-old Raquel Wilson died as the result of injuries she suffered at about 6 o'clock this morning in the 1900 block of McRae Street. Wilson and her boyfriend, 34-year-old Brian Russ, were arguing when Wilson jumped from the vehicle and rolled under the truck. Police say no charges are expected to be filed against Russ. You're listening to NCN News.
Invisible, invasive, underestimated. Nematodes are stealing over 10% of corn and soybean yields and getting away with it, infecting your roots. They hide in healthy-looking crops or disguise themselves as drought, nutrient deficiency, or disease. Current management practices, including crop rotation, aren't enough. But a new seed treatment technology controls nematodes before they attack. Introducing NemaStrike technology. It provides broad-spectrum control from the start, stays in the root zone for up to 75 days, and delivers results you can see at harvest. Protect your seed with NemaStrike technology and take back your bushels. NemaStrike technology. Strike where nematodes attack. Learn more at nemastriketechnology.com/new.
Simply Southern Apparel is now in stock at the Falston Pharmacy and at Allen Drugstore in Stanley. You've asked for it, now you've got it. Simply Southern Apparel, and the new $1 deal section is now open at Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville, the Falston Pharmacy, and at Allen Drug Store, too. See the huge selection of dollar items. And fidget spinners are in stock, including the new glow-in-the-dark spinners. Medical Center Pharmacy, 607 East Academy Street, Cherryville, the Falston Pharmacy, Highway 18 north of Falston, and Allen Drug Store in downtown Stanley.
We've had a little bit of a break from the gloom of the last couple of days. A few peaks of sunshine here and there today, helping to brighten things up a little bit. Heading into tonight, though, the clouds, they're filling back in. We'll see some showers back in the forecast by daybreak tomorrow, and a better chance of showers and storms tomorrow afternoon, and an even better chance come Friday. Keep those umbrellas ready to go. Lows tonight around 70, highs tomorrow in the low to mid-80s, everybody in the mid-80s on Friday. I'm meteorologist Nate Johnson in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Currently at the Big Old Country Studios, it's 4:03.
Doctor, what's wrong with my husband?
Let's take a look. CKDKDS Macron. Oh, yes, I've seen this before. Your husband has coyote fever.
Coyote fever?
Yes, he's obviously learned of the hot deals going on now at your local Coyote tractor dealer.
Is this serious?
Very serious. Now is the best time to buy one of the best-selling tractors on the market. If you care at all about your husband, you'll drive him over to the Coyote dealer now. Oh, and I'm writing you a prescription for great deals on all implements, too.
Your Coyote dealer is West End Sales, Highway 1827 intersection in Vail. For over 100 years, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home in Falston has been providing services to families of our community with care and compassion. And now the Stamey Funeral Home has added the Cremation Center along with a new name, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center. The Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center on Highway 182 in Falston, and the Stamey Funeral Home in Cherryville, located on Dixie Street in Cherryville, serving you with care and compassion in your time of need.
Welcome out to the best in sports. It's Tim Johnson and Mr. Baseball, American Legion man himself, Kenny Leak, here with us on a Wednesday, WCSL 1590. Every Wednesday you can catch us live here. It's good to see you, Ken.
Oh, it's good to be here. I'm happy to be here and be talking about sports again. We've got some national events in our area we want to talk about, and exciting time around here with a lot of different sports going on.
I'm telling you, Ken, I'm telling you right now, the American Legion World Series at Keeter Stadium, downtown Shelby, North Carolina, and we are the host station of the American Legion World Series this year, Ken, and we are excited. We've been that host station for the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years?
Probably 6 years.
6 years
since they've Shelby's been running it 6 straight years. Now, they did the World Series a couple years before they got the contract, but they've done it for the last 6, and I know KTC Broadcasting has carried the game.
Absolutely.
Tim, they'll have all 15 games on the radio on all 4 of their stations. So if you're around doing something, you don't have to miss a pitch.
Out and about.
Or you're driving to one game and another game's not finished yet, you can catch all the action on the radio.
All station. You can be in Shelby, Gaston County, anywhere.
I mean, Lincoln, I'm going to go to some of the games. I won't see them all, but I imagine I'll be going to an afternoon game. There'll be another one finishing up, and I'll tune in WLON in Lincoln when I leave Lincoln, and I'll get to Cherryville. I'll switch over to 1590. And when we get to Shelby, I'll switch over to 1390. I won't miss any action.
You won't miss a pitch weekend.
No, I won't. In fact, I might take my headset so when they pick me up in the parking lot, which they will do, and tote you right to the front gate, I'll liable to put my headsets on and make sure I catch it then.
And I know Calvin Hastings on Cloud 9. I tell you right now, I was in the station earlier, and Steve was in here, and Calvin and Steve was going back and forth and getting everything set up. So they got everything set up there at Keeter Stadium tomorrow. That's KTC Broadcasting. And so we're going to have all the games live on the radio. So just tune in, Ken. Everybody out there, tune in. You're going to hear some great baseball this weekend.
Great baseball, and got a lot of different announcers in, and Steve Roberts will be controlling everything.
He's the man.
From the studio. I mean, the commercials. I mean, all 15 games, Steve's going to be here.
We call him the program director.
There you go.
That's what we call him.
He'll be there.
All right, Kenny, let's talk a little bit about the American Legion Baseball. We got the Southeast Regional champions, Randolph County. Post 45, they won it, and they're at Shelby this weekend.
Yes, they punched their ticket, Tim. It was a good Southeast Regional over in Asheboro. Randolph County, who won the state tournament and didn't lose a game, Same thing in the regional tournament. They won the Southeast region, did not lose a game. They beat Florida in the championship game 15-2.
Wow.
This is a solid team, Tim. In the 5 games in the regional, they only gave up a total of 10 runs. They actually pitched 2 shutouts. So they got solid pitching, good hitting. And what I listened to some of the games on the Asheboro station, and Tim, it sounds like they have solid defense at every position.
They do.
And that's what
do,
you got to
Ken.
have.
They do.
At every position.
Absolutely.
I couldn't identify a weak position on the field just listening to the games.
Yeah, and you know, and all your defense all starts with the middle of your baseball field, Ken. You got your catcher as well as your short and second and your center fielder, and those guys are tight. I mean, they're really good.
And those guys are turning some double plays too. So I'm looking forward to seeing Randolph and Tim. They're one of the teams that's there. That we'll go over the schedule in a minute, but they've got it where it's really, if you're a Randolph County fan and you want to come see your team play in the World Series, then come on down. They play the late game Thursday, which is the opening day for the World Series. They play the 8:15 game, so people who work on Thursday still have time to drive that 2-hour drive from Asheboro, come down here and get to see their team. They have a bye on Friday, and then on Saturday I think they play at 3:30, and on Sunday they play at 7:30. So this gives the Randolph County folks, fans, plenty of time to take that 2-hour drive and come down here and see their team live.
Absolutely. And Ken, and the MVP of the Southeastern Regional Championship round, Trevor Marsh was the MVP, Ken. He had a batting average of .632, Ken, in the tournament. That's ripping the baseball, hitting the cover off.
And notice that's a different guy.
Different guy from what the
MVP was in the state regionals. I mean, so in the state tournament. So they've got some good ball players.
They got some hitters.
They're solid.
Yes, they do. All right, Ken, I tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to go through the stars and let you do the stripes of the American Legion World Series. And it starts, like I say, tomorrow, Keeler Stadium. The Mid-Atlantic champion, New Jersey, who won it a few years ago, Hopewell, post .339. Their record is 38-10. The Southeastern Regional, who we've been talking about, Randolph County, representing North Carolina, post 45, 38-8. Then you have the Mid-South, Arkansas, Bright, post 298, 39-7. Then you got the Northwestern. Is it Northwestern, Ken? Is that correct? Idaho.
Yeah.
Northwestern Idaho
region. Yes.
Lewiston, post 13, 39-11. Ken.
Yes, that's the start. It's the way they did it. This is a round robin tournament, which means you got 2 pools. And the 2 pools are the Stars division with 4 teams in it, and the Stripes division, 4 teams in it. Tim just went over the Stars division. In the Stripes division, you got in the northeastern, you got Massachusetts, Shrewsbury Post, a 34-6 record. Great Lakes region, you got Michigan, the Midland Post, 765, a 39-2 record. Tim. Central Plains, Nebraska, Creighton Prep with a record of 54-6, and the Western region, Nevada, Henderson Post 40 with a record of 54-7. Now, Tim, that's a lot of games.
That's a lot of baseball.
That's
over
games.
60-some games there, Ken.
And you mentioned that New Jersey has won it several times, but not this New Jersey team. Brookline, New Jersey, is a team that's been there several times.
The states won it, I know that,
and won it twice in a row. Guess what? They didn't make it. They got beat by this New Jersey team, and so New Jersey bringing, I'm sure, some talent with this team. So if you look at it, there's no team on here that was at the World Series last year.
Wow.
That's good. That's good.
That is good. That is good because, you know, that means that the competition this year is stepped up, in other words. And like you say, last year it was Rowan County representing North Carolina. This year is Randolph County. So, and we hope Randolph County. We're going to pull for Randolph County, our home team, home state. So
we will.
Absolutely.
Now, one of the teams, Midland, Michigan, they have been to the World Series back a few years ago, but they weren't here last year. That's the only team I recognize that has been to the World Series recently.
And they're representing the Great Lakes.
Great Lakes area.
Yeah. And, Ken, talk about some things happening around today for some of the activities and stuff like that going on in Shelby at the World Series. The host city of Welcome today at 5:15 today. Meet and greet the 8 teams in downtown Shelby, Ken. Also, the teams will participate in a cornhole tournament at the courthouse, Ken.
Yeah, a little friendly competition. Well, I hope it's friendly. It might get pretty intense. But this is the first time they've done an actual meet and greet where the public can come out and mingle and meet the teams a little bit. Now, they always have host families and host churches that greet the teams, make sure they get them here from the airport and in the hotels and that kind of thing. They always do that, but this is something a little extra they added this year, and that's happening tonight, starting at 5:15. As I mentioned before, this format is called pool play, and what it is, you have the Stars division with 4 teams and the Stripes division with 4 teams. Tim, they'll play a round robin, and that round robin will go over 4 days. Each team will have a day off one day during those 4 days. So you'll have that at the end of Sunday, after you finish the round robins. They will take the top 2 teams out of each of those 2 divisions, and they will go to the semifinals with the number 1 team in the Stars playing the runner-up in the Stripes, and the number 1 in the Stripes playing the runner-up in the Stars.
So they're trying to even it out.
Even it out. So. And there is a possibility you could end up with some ties when determining who goes to semifinals. And I mean, you could have somebody that's got, let's say you got somebody that won the Division 3-0 record, but you got 2 teams that's got 1 and 2 records.
Got you.
And another ring that's 0-3. Well, which one of them 1 and 2 guys go? Well, they got tiebreakers they look at, Tim. Now, it's complicated, and they try to keep it a secret, but it has to do with the least number of runs and total runs, and they just keep breaking down. They got 6 or 8 categories where if you end up being tied, they'll eventually get to a tiebreaker.
All right.
But it's a good way to do it. And then, of course, the semifinal winners will advance to the championship game on Tuesday. Now, the key thing about this, Tim, is I love this format because you have all these 8 teams that will be here when play starts, a total of at least 4 games, and 4 days, and they will all play at least 3 games. And they arrived here yesterday, Tim. So they're going to be in this area for about 5 days, enjoying things, enjoying the atmosphere, North Carolina, the World Series. And it's just a great honor and accomplishment for them to be here. And even if you don't win it, and there's only going to be 1 winner, they're going to enjoy it.
Oh, yeah,
it's going to be a great, great thing. And, Tim, they'll be on national TV. How you doing? As well. And so these folks are going to have a good Hawaii a couple years ago. They liked it so good after they lost and didn't advance to the semifinals.
Got you.
They stuck around a couple more days.
I saw some buses on the way here, Ken. Did you see the buses in the Walmart parking lot? There's like 4 or 5 big ones there.
I didn't notice that.
They had Cougars on the side. Is that what's the name of Randolph County, the baseball team? Like Trevor's Post 100. Is it? Do they have a name or something like that, like Cougars? Because they had a Cougars on the side of the bus.
I just think they call themselves Post 40.
Got you.
Post 45. I don't think that they have any in name, but one of these might be called Cougars. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because I saw that on the way here, and I said, I said they might have some fans or something like that, families and stuff coming in on the big Trailway buses. So that's awesome, Ken. All right, and also, Ken, don't forget about we have a free concert, Summerbrook and the Mountain Faith Band and Carlene Allen, local Shelby artist, Ken. They'll be singing too tonight. That is, so that'll be exciting too for the bands and for all the people up there likes music and stuff like that, so as well. Also, let's see, all 15 games, like we said earlier, they're all broadcast live on KTC Broadcasting on all 4 of our radio stations as well, Kenny.
Yes, and like I say, you don't have to miss a pitch because you can catch them on all 4 stations as you're out about the town.
All righty, Kenny, that's going to do it for some American Legion baseball, and we'll come right back. We're going to talk about some, looks like we might talk about some PGA Championship, Ken, coming up to Quill Hollow.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a major there, and it's been a while since Charlotte had a major, so
looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
We'll be back on these messages from our fine sponsors here on WCSL 1590. Tim Johnson, Ken Link, the best in sports every Wednesday.
We're here from the start of your workday
on my way to work
till quitting time.
Big O Country, WCSL 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Country Gold with Terry Clark.
I'm I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me this week for Country Gold, where we play all your favorites from the 80s and 90s.
Country Go with Terry Clark, Thursday afternoons 1 to 5 on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com. The Carolina Panther Family Game Giveaway is back again this year. Someone's going to win 4 tickets to a Carolina Panther football game, a free night's lodge into the Hampton Inn in Gastonia, free Carolina Panther T-shirts and caps, and $100 in fun money. Register with no obligation to buy at Medical Center Pharmacy on East Academy Street in Cherryville, at Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks on Garrison Boulevard in Gastonia, at Parker Farm Service on Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain, at Energy Direct Highway 74 East in Shelby, at West End Sales Highway 27 18 North in Vale, at Dallas Express Pharmacy in Dallas, at Love's Fish Box Shelby Road Highway 74 Business West in Kings Mountain, at Honda Motorcycles on Highway 74 East in Shelby. The drawing to be held Friday, August 25th at 8 a.m. on the Boston Big O Country. Register to win the Carolina Panther Family Game Giveaway today.
Some tax services hire temporary employees, run them through a quickie training course, and then turn them loose preparing taxes. But at AccuTrol Income Tax Service in Gastonia, your return is too important to trust poorly trained preparers. They're there year-round, open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. Wouldn't you rather have experience on your side? See AccuTrol Income Tax Service, located at 428 West Main Avenue in Gastonia. Call 704-864-8767 for experience and professional service.
It's Your Feed Plus in Cherryville. Yes, It's Your Feed Plus will make you feel like a brand new person. Your feet deserve it, and so do you. It's Your Feed Plus specializes in the health and care of senior citizens' feet. They also do facials, brow waxing, tint, ear candling, and massage. Just call 704-460-8669 for your appointment. They're located at 301 East Main Street in Cherryville, right across from the gazebo. Again, call and talk with Sloan Fortenberry at It's Your Feed Plus, 704-460-8669.
In Africa, 5-year-old Chiru has no choice. She and millions like her walk miles a day for dirty water. But together, we can end their walk by providing clean water close by. Instead of spending hours walking to get water that makes them sick, girls can be in a classroom and moms will gain back time to care for their families. Sons and daughters can grow up strong, finally free of sicknesses. It's true. When you just add water, you change a life. Learn more at worldvision.org.
Ken Lake and Tim Johnson back on the Best in Sports on this Wednesday afternoon. KTC Broadcasting Studios. We've been talking about the event in Shelby. This is a national event that the whole town is excited about, and that's the American Legion World Series. We've talked about the teams that are there and the format. Tim, I want to hit the schedule real fast. On Thursday, there will be 4 games starting at 9:30. You have a 9:30 game, a 1 o'clock game, a 4:30 game, and the last game is 8:15. The nightcap in Randolph County will be playing in that nightcap against that good New Jersey team. Friday, there are only 2 games, and the reason there's only 2 games is each team has to have a bye in one of these 4 days that they're playing around robins. And the reason they made everybody play on the first day is so it'd be fair with the pitching.
Right.
The pitch count rules.
And I was thinking that the other day. Everybody has to play on that first day.
Absolutely. And so nobody gets a disadvantage by having a bye on the first day.
Gotcha.
So that's good. So actually, if you had a pitcher, your ace who started and pitched over 75 pitches that first day, he could come back and pitch if his team's there in the championship game on Tuesday, because that would give him 4 days set out. So that's why they did it that way. The Friday games, you got games at 4 o'clock and 7:30. Saturday, there'll be 3 games, 11:30, 3:30, and 7:30. And that 3:30 game, Randolph County will be playing Idaho. Sunday, there'll be 3 games, 12 o'clock, 3:30, 7:30. Randolph County plays Arkansas in that nightcap. And Tim, the nightcap, Miss America will be throwing out the first pitch.
Really?
On Sunday.
Wow.
So I think her name is Shields. Her last name is Shields, but Miss America will be throwing out the first pitch.
How about that?
Monday, the semifinal games at 4 o'clock and 7:30. And Tuesday is, of course, the championship game at 7:30. Now, all these games, Tim, are going to be exciting, and I know everybody can't make all the games, but if you have an opportunity, you ought to go, because there's a lot of ways to follow the game on radio, TV, or whatever. But Tim, there's nothing like the experience of being actually there.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's the whole part of it, Ken. Being there and be a part of the American Legion World Series. And like Ken was saying, all 15 games will be broadcast on the home station, KTC Broadcasting, on their 4 radio stations as well. And also, Ken, if you are at home and you're watching TV, you can pick it up on ESPN3 or ESPNU as well. So the championship game will be there as well. So all 15 games, Ken. Yeah. We're the home station. I know Calvin's excited. Kevin's excited. I know all the guys up there working. I think Calvin, who's doing the championship game? Milton
and Evan.
Milton and Evan Smoke doing championship game.
Evan Ludwig and Milton Baker will do the championship game. I think
Danny Aker and Milton's doing Friday night. They're both Friday games.
Yes,
is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
But,
all right.
There'll be a lot of different announcers being there. We have a lot of Shelby announcers to be involved. But there's got a lot
absolutely.
We'll cover every game.
Yeah, we got some very good, talented people doing our games this week at the American Legion World Series. All right, Kenny.
And if you do attend, Tim.
Yes, sir.
It costs $10 for adult pass, $35 for tournament pass, $5 for student pass. But you might qualify to get in free. Senior Citizen Day Thursday. Well, guess what? That's me. Saturday, Military Appreciation Day. Well, that's me again. Sunday, Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Monday, Youth Athletic Day. All youth who wear a team jersey can get in free. And on Tuesday, for the last 6 years, there's been a corporate sponsor to pick up the tab for everyone to get in free for the championship game.
That's awesome.
I would expect probably the same thing to happen this year.
That's awesome. All right, Kenny. Like you said, we have 2 national events in the state of North Carolina, and the second one is the PGA Championship down at Quail Hollow Club. That is in Charlotte, and that's going to be from August the 10th through the 13th at a start tomorrow, Ken. And who you got to win that thing?
I think I'm going to go with Rory McIlroy.
You know, he's won at Charlotte, I think, twice.
He likes it.
He likes Charlotte. He does.
And Dustin Johnson's another one.
You got to hit it long ways. I tell you, they made some changes to the golf course. About probably, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I played that course twice. I played it actually the year that Tiger won it. I played it on that following Monday. And the course is absolutely, if you've never been to Quail Hollow, it is absolutely beautiful, immaculate. The greens are turtleback, and they're real high greens. And I remember hole number 1, I hit my drive, and if you hit it to the left, your ball is going to automatically roll to the right because of the way the fairways are. So, and there's a bunker. It's got a lot of, it's like shooting darts, Ken. But anyway, the course there is beautiful. I mean, I remember watching John Daly and Tiger Woods play around, and John Daly hit a drive down to the pond on hole number 15, I believe it is, and then dog legs back hard left to up on top of the hill. He hit I believe it said a 5-iron, and hit it on the green about 3 feet from the pin. Unbelievable shot. So they have got some really challenging holes. They've made the course longer, so that tells me that Rory McIlroy, like you said, and I think Dustin Johnson, whoever can hit it long,
has a good shot at it.
Has a good shot to hit it long, keep in the fairway. But within 100 yards, that course is it's unbelievable.
Well,
I mean, it takes a scratch golfer to play that course.
Weather's hampering some, but they have a good day today, it looks like, to get some practice in. So.
Yeah, and I talked to Scott Davenport 2 days ago, and Scott was not able to call us. He was going to call us, but he's not able to because he got so much going on. Scott's the head professional there. We had him on the show back months ago, but Scott's a great guy, and Scott's going to give us a call after the show. Try to get him on next week if possible. But Scott said the course is in immaculate shape. The greens last year, I think it was last year, they had some problems with the greens. They redid the greens, and the greens are in excellent shape. So they're rolling good. The fairways are in great shape. The roughs is going to play a lot different than what it has been in the past when they had the Wachovia Championship there. So it's going to be challenging. So like you said, I think Roy's got a great shot. He knows that course. He's played it before. Dustin, I think Jordan Spieth, he don't hit it real far, but he's such a great around the green stuff, chipping and putting. I like to see Jordan win it to win the Grand Slam. Dustin Johnson, if he hits it, he's going to be hard to beat if he can hit it and keep it in the fairway.
Yeah. So we'll see. There's some good names, and and we'll see how it turns out. But I heard them say there's tens of thousands of people heading down there to try to get in and watch that. And I
like to see Phil. Play well.
Yeah.
Phil, I'm a Mickelson fan, so he's one of my favorites. So he'd be good. But yeah, I like to say I think Jordan Spieth, Roy McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, those three are going to be. If they get on Sunday, if they're there Sunday, that's going to be a heck of a tournament, Ken.
Yeah, it will be.
All right, Ken, we got high school football news, too. Tim Pruitt said he was listening to us. So, Tim, good afternoon to you. Me and Ken will be coming over to checking you guys out against the Lincoln High School Wolves. And I think Kevin was telling us it's $5 for everybody. Is that correct, Ken?
Yeah, that's what he said. And Tim and I go over there and do a little checking out and scouting of the Cherryl Wyoming and also the Lincoln Woods. And we'll be talking about both those teams on our Lincoln County football team.
Sure will.
Football show. As we cover the teams, we're going to cover the 4 Lincoln County teams and the South Fork 2A Association extensively on our Lincoln County football show. But we'll also on our Wednesday show that you listen to right now. We're going to cover those Cherryl Ironmen because we're on 1590, and we're going to talk about Coach Pruitt and his team this year as well.
And I know Coach Pruitt's excited about his season this year with these kids and stuff like that. We had him on the show a while back, and he's a great person, great coach. So we're looking forward to meeting him too, Ken, and going over checking out Cherryl Ironman taking on the Lincoln Wolves tonight. They're hosting them up here at the stadium tonight, so that's going to be exciting.
I was reading in the Gastonia Gazette where they were talk to Coach Pruitt, and he's saying that he's trying to adjust what he's going to do this year to his personnel. Sound like he's got some big guys up front, offensive line, so he says he wants to play some ball control.
That's good.
So we'll check that out tonight, but that's basically what he's saying.
And speaking of the First Federal Lincoln County High School football show, that will crank up next. We're going to do like a pre-game, I guess a pre-show coming up next Wednesday, and then we'll tape our show. Then it'll be played back here on WLON next Friday from 6:30 to 7. That is WLON only from 6:30 to 7, and that'll be all season long. So we're excited about that. We're really excited about First Federal, who is our main sponsor, Ken, Demery Brewer, and tell them a little bit what we're going to do with our with some of the kids and stuff in Lincoln County High School football this year, Ken.
Well, we want to recognize some kids, and so each week we're going to give a Lincoln County Student Athlete Football Player of the Week. And we were asking the 4 coaches of North Lincoln, East Lincoln, Lincoln, and West Lincoln to send us a candidate every week after their Friday game. That unless they're on they had a bye that week, they'll be sending us a candidate, and we will look at those candidates, and Tim and I will make a choice as far as the Football Player of the Week, and we will be awarding a plaque to that player, presenting him at practice on Tuesday afternoon.
Now, Ken, this ain't just an ordinary plaque. This is a really nice plaque, and Carolina Trophies, one of our sponsors, they're putting the plaque together. It's a 8x10 plaque, and it's going to be really sharp, Ken.
Yeah, we're looking forward to doing that, and we're going to try to spread those awards around. We don't want to favor just one school. We want to spread it around the 4 schools, and we also want to consider not only performance on the football field, which is the main thing, but we also ask the coaches to give us something else about the young man, whether it's something about the community or classroom or anything else. So we're looking forward to doing that, and we'll be putting that in the Lincoln Herald each week, and we also sending some information to David Keever over at the Lincoln Times, and he said he put as much information as he could about that as well. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, we got a lot of good people that's supporting us, Ken, and behind us, as well as KT Broadcasting, Kevin Hastings, and of course Calvin Hastings too. So we're excited about that. That is the first annual First Federal Lincoln County High School football show, and our sponsors, Carolina Trophies, House of Pizza, and Ken, you know a little bit about House of Pizza.
Oh yes, last time we went there, I think I about put the house out of business because they got that all-you-can-eat menu. Man, I think I ate more than what they wanted me to. But they're going to sponsor us. They're going to feed Tim and I a meal occasionally, and we're looking forward to that. It's a great place to eat right there in Lincoln. If you ever go by there, that place is usually crowded all the time. They have excellent food. Excellent food.
Mary and the girls are great there.
And some of the best sweet tea you ever drink.
It's good, and they give you a big, huge glass.
Absolutely.
So, and Max Grill, too, up here in Shelby. So, Cherryl Highway, Shelby Highway. 150, and a good buddy of mine, Arnon. So we're going to go see him in a little bit too, Ken. So we're awful thankful of those good people supporting us here at KTC Broadcasting. And so, all right, Ken, I tell you what we'll do. We're going to get to a short commercial, and we'll be back with some NFL news as well as some other sports in the area as well, Ken, right here on The Best in Sports. It's Tim Johnson and Ken Link.
The only station you need at work.
All day long, constantly.
Big O Country, WCSL, 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com. This Saturday night, August 12th, it's Cosmo Motors Night at the Races at the Hickory Motor Speedway, featuring twin 40-lappers for the NASCAR Wheeling All-American Series Bojangles late models, 35 laps for the Paramount Auto Group Limited late models, 35 laps for the One Design Super Trucks, 30 laps for the Cosmo Motors Street Stock, 20 laps for the Renegades, and 10 laps for the Crash and Bash division. Gates open at 5, racing at 7:30. Tickets $12.50 for adults, $10.50 for seniors, and 11 to 12. Kids 10 and under free. Don't miss it. Hickory Motor Speedway, home of the NASCAR stars. Time now for the Sunday Morning Worship Center from the Covenant Baptist Church in Lincoln.
Hey, Milton Baker here with an announcement from Katy Did's Antique Mall in Gastonia. They are buying vinyl records, pottery, jugs, and crocks, and buying good furniture. They'll buy one item or an entire estate, and they also do tag sales. Katy Did's is on Facebook. They're located 1109 East Ozark Avenue in Gastonia. Call them up at 704-864-1090. Hey, Rob and Bart say mention the Radio Swap Shop, and they'll treat you right at Katy Did's in Gastonia. It's unstoppable in any season, any weather. Yes, it's hard to stop these great offers from Train and Roland Black Heating and Cooling in Gastonia. It's the weather any season sale. Right now, buy a qualifying system and choose 0% APR financing for 72 months. Additional financing and trade-in allowance offers are available. See Roland Black Heating and Cooling for the details. The weather any season sale at Roland Black Heating and Cooling, 501 East Franklin Boulevard, Gastonia. Call 704-865-1375.
We're back here on The Best in Sports. Tim Johnson and Ken Link every Wednesday on 1590 WCSL AM station. It's The Best in Sports, and I tell you, Ken, we have some NFL news for you, but first we're going to go to the inductees into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this past weekend. Mr. Kurt Warner, LaDainian Tomlinson, Terrell Davis, Jason Taylor, Morton Anderson, and Kenny Easley, and your man, Mr. Jerry Jones. Ken, what do you think about that man?
I think that'd be your man.
That's my man. I tell you,
legendary.
I'll take him, man.
Cowboys owner.
I'll take him right now, Ken.
Did you watch any of these induction speeches?
I did. I watched him, and I tell you, he's a trip. I tell you, Jerry Jones. Now, did you hear about the after party he had?
No, I didn't.
I bet Kevin Hastings went to it. $16 million, Ken. He had Justin Timberlake. You know who Justin Timberlake is, Ken?
Yes, I do.
Justin Timberlake performed. I'm trying to think. There was so many people there, so many movie stars. I mean, when you think about Jerry Jones, he's movies. You know, he's a rock star. That's what they call him. So, but yeah, he got inducted to the Hall of Fame, and well deserved, no doubt about it, well deserved for what he's done for football. But Kurt Warner, I tell you, Ken, he's had a great story. Think about.
Oh yeah, there's not a better story. The guy's bagging groceries, and next thing you know, he's in
unbelievable.
the NFL, winning Super Bowls, and you know what a story. And what a nice guy. There's not a nicer guy out there than
he
Kurt
is.
Warner.
Good Christian man.
Yeah, I could say great guy. Even the guys that played with him respect him for the kind of guy he was.
Right. And I tell you another person too is Jason Taylor, who went to college in Akron, Ohio. Right there at the home of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So and I saw some of his speeches, and he said, I never thought. This never crossed my mind ever get to Canton to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, I walked from across the street to the Hall of Fame. That's unbelievable, is it not?
Yeah, and you know, people like Terrell Davis.
Yes.
Who didn't have a long career, but boy, was he was
impressive
when he did play.
And played with headaches, had migraines.
Yes,
Remember that?
Yes.
So, LaDainian Tomlinson, I really like his speech too. Yes, his style and the way he played football. But his speech too, Ken, spoke a lot about the person he was, and about how he dedicated his life to his family as well as to football, but to the service people.
Yes.
To United States
Yeah.
of America. I mean, I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, and it's good to hear that in this day and time when some folks have different opinions the other way. Another guy, Morton Anderson. How many years did he cook that football through that upright?
I think he was, what, 60 years old?
I'll tell you, he kicked a long time. And he still was accurate when he retired.
The second kicker
in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you know who the other guy is? Stenerud. What's that? They're from the same country,
Really?
Denmark. Yes, both of them.
How
Is that
about
not neat?
That's neat.
Both of them from Denmark and in the Hall of Fame. That's unbelievable. But you're right, Kenny. And Kenny Easley, the headhunter. Now, I remember him from Seattle Mariners. He was a player.
Yeah, he's a player. He got in. So these are Hall of Fame guys. What accomplishment.
And also, Ken, your Carolina Panthers are playing tonight, taking on the Houston Texans, and they're playing Mr. Deshaun Watson, the national champion quarterback from Clemson University.
That's right. Another national event going on because it's the only NFL game going on in the country tonight.
On a Wednesday night.
On a Wednesday night, sort of odd, but that's what they're doing. And I imagine there'll be a few Clemson fans that'll come down I-85.
No Dabo will be there.
Toward North Carolina and be there to watch their quarterback, Deshaun Watson. And he'll play. He's probably the second guy in there, and he probably play a lot. So I'm sure they're going to come down and try to see him.
He's going to get the starting position. I think he will.
Well, eventually I will. The guy that's starting there gets injured a lot anyway, so I think it's just a matter of time. Let's
talk a little bit of Panthers, Ken, before we get to the Cowboys. Let's talk a little bit. Cam Newton, how's his progress?
Well, they say he's progressing along, but he's not going to play tonight. They've already announced he's not going to play, and he took some snaps early on and threw the ball pretty good, but last 3 or 4 practices he's been tossing on the sidelines and that kind of thing. They're taking it slow with him.
He's got a lot of soreness from what I hear.
Got some soreness, but I'm not concerned right now. Now, if it lingers like this for 2 or 3 weeks with him not practicing,
that's not good.
Then you worry a little bit. But
right.
Anderson will be starting for them, and then they'll go from there. But a lot of people decided about wanting to see Christian McCaffrey.
I'll tell you, man, I'm a fan of his.
I'm ready. I want to see him. He's been impressive. His teammates have talked about how impressive he's been, so I want to see him in live action.
I tell you what, Ken, I saw him on TV just doing some things in practice. He looked lightning quick. I don't believe I've seen anybody that quick and fast. He's just unbelievable quick.
And it seems to come natural for him. He sort of sets people up, and he makes
smooth.
He makes that move. Like you say, it's not like he has to herky jerk. It's just like he makes it smooth. And it's like you're grasping the air, and he's gone.
He's so smooth, Ken. I mean, he just when he runs, it's just like a poetry in motion. He just, like you say, he's just
Yeah, some of the stuff you can't teach. It just comes natural.
I tell you somebody else that remind me of him, but he wasn't quite as fast as he was. Maybe not, but Jerry Rice from the 49ers, when he ran, he was just
smooth,
real graceful,
real
smooth. Yep, and that's the one. That's the great ones there, Ken.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of the other guys on the Panthers, some of the defensive backs, and some of the guys that's got to fill in and do some things. I'm waiting. I want to see how Matt Khalil, the new left tackle, does on that offensive line, and so I'll be looking at some of those type players to see what's going on with them.
I might pull a little bit for the Panthers this year.
Well, we'll welcome you. Of course, they haven't run into Cowboys now,
Hey, listen, speaking of Cowboys, Ken, congratulations, Jerry Jones, and of course all the other Hall of Fame inductees. The Cowboys, I tell you, Ken, they can be special. They can be really, really special. Now the defense, I don't know. I mean, they got some players. Sean Lee, I'm telling you, Ken, if he can stay healthy for another 2 or 3 years, 4 years, he might be Hall of Fame potential. He might be. He's really good. Of course, you got Jason Witten on offense. He's Hall of Fame. As soon as he retires, he's first ballot. If somebody can get a hold of Ezekiel Elliott, and they haven't made a decision yet, and they're going to, and my prediction is going to be 2 to 4 games. I'm thinking 2 games he'll be suspended. If somebody can get their hands around him and straighten him out, he's Hall of Fame, no doubt about it. Well, if he can stay injury-free, that's the key, injury-free.
Yeah, and that's always if in the National Football League, because it is a physical league, and you're not guaranteed about
running backs ain't like it used to be.
And you're not guaranteed about your injuries. You just never know what's going to happen.
Right. Offensive line, we got 3 Hall of Famers, Ken. There's no doubt about it.
But that's your strength.
Oh, yes.
Obviously, that's your strength.
Yes. Prescott, this kid he's probably as they compare him a little bit to Troy Aikman, to a little bit of Tom Brady in him, a little bit of this and that. He's unbelievable, Ken. What he did last year.
Well, it was great what he did last year. We'll see this year his team make adjustments if he has a little bit of a sophomore slump or he's still as impressive as he was last year.
Ken, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to make a prediction, okay? They're going to open the playbook up with this kid. This kid is a Tom Brady type of quarterback, and I don't mean that in what Tom Brady does. I'm talking about just the way his work ethic, the way he studies. He's a Peyton Manning. He's in the film room. He's a football holic. You know what I'm saying? He can't get enough of it. And the stuff I read about him and the people talk about him, stuff like that, Troy Aikman's made comments about it. I mean, this kid could be special, and I'm telling you, they open up the playbook, this kid is going to run off and leave everybody. You mark my words.
Well, we'll see. He had a great year lately.
He's a leader. Great person.
So they're pleased with him. But I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
We just had an injury over in Miami. Tannehill went down.
Oh, God.
And so they said, let's go get Jay Cutler out of the broadcast booth. Now, for Fox. Now, let me ask you a question. If, God forbid, Dak Prescott suffers an injury.
Right.
A season-ending injury.
I know what you're thinking.
Are they going to go to the broadcast booth and ask for Tony Romo?
No, they're not. Tony Romo's done. He's done, Ken. He's finished. And I think he knows that, too. He's not coming back for anybody. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, if you're Miami Dolphins, who would you rather have, Tony Romo or Jay Cutler?
Well, I know. I'd rather have Romo.
Now, think about it. Now, Jay Cutler played with that coach, that head coach.
Yeah.
He was offense coordinator in Chicago, okay? They had Adam Gase. They had a relationship. But here's the thing, Ken. There's no comparison, Ken. But here's the deal. Romo can't play. They know that. Don't think they didn't get on the wire and try to find out whether he's interested or not.
Well, they probably did. But Cutler, I mean, I don't blame him. He want me? $13 million, $10 million guaranteed? Yeah, I'll try it another year.
Right.
I mean, I don't blame him. You know.
Well, you know what? Now, here's the thing, Ken.
And the broadcast booth's still waiting on him when he gets done. So
Ken, think about this. The man came out of retirement. You know why? You hear what he said? Because his wife told him he needed to go to work. I mean, Ken, what's that tell you about him? What's your teammates thinking? My wife, in an interview, he said, my wife told me I need to come out and work.
I don't know whether I said that or not, Tim.
Well, Ken, I mean, you're not going to say that and go with teammates. They're going to sit there and scratch their head and say, he ain't changed. He don't want to play for. He just doing it for $10 million. Ken, they could call me for $1 million.
That's what I'm saying about for $10 million, even if he falls on his face, guaranteed. I mean,
now I probably can't throw it 20 yards, but I guarantee you, I'll give him $100,000 worth of me. Love me. But that's your football. You got the Dallas Cowboys, Carolina Panthers, and it's injuries. Note, Ken, go over your injuries here. Some people.
Well, I mentioned the Tannehill injury, which he messed his knee up. He's out for the year, and then when he got Cutler in there. 49ers linebacker Markham Smith out for the season. Now he played in the Super Bowl with Seattle. He's a great player.
He's a great player.
And he's free agent. He signed with San Fran back in March. Big 5-year contract, and unfortunately, he suffered a chest injury, and he's out for the year.
Right. So that's Malcolm Smith as out for the season with a chest injury. Smith, a former Super Bowl MVP, like Ken was saying, and he came out of Seattle. So great football player, Ken. I hate to hear that too. He's super football player. Hey, Kenny, let's go to a commercial break right quick, buddy, before we get started on this NASCAR news, and we also got some Major League Baseball we're going to talk about too. And we'll be back after these messages. Kenny Lake, Mr. Baseball, Mr. American Legion Baseball. That's what we call you right here, Ken.
Well, that's fine. I'll wear that label.
I'm Tim Johnson.
Because I love it so much.
Well, you the man. Ain't nobody better. We'll be back after these messages here on 1590 WCSL.
You could listen to your boss.
Work.
But wouldn't you really rather listen to us?
I listen to it all day long.
Big O Country, WCSL, 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Why is it smarter to buy from Carter? Come visit our newly renovated facility and you'll see why. It's our huge selection, our Smarter with Carter service, rock bottom prices and impeccable customer satisfaction. Carter Chevrolet has been family owned and operated for over 50 years. We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow. Feel smarter when you buy from Carter. Chevy makes the truck, Carter makes the difference.
Simply Southern Apparel is now in stock at the Falston Pharmacy and at Allen Drug Store in Stanley. You've asked for it, now you've got it. Simply Southern Apparel, and the new $1 deal section is now open at Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville, the Falston Pharmacy, and at Allen Drug Store too. See the huge selection of dollar items. And fidget spinners are in stock, including the new glow-in-the-dark spinners. Medical Center Pharmacy, 607 East Academy Street, Cherryville, the Falston Pharmacy, Highway 18 north of Falston, and Allen Drug Store in downtown Stanley.
Okay, Ken Link and Tim Johnson back here on the Best in Sports on a Wednesday afternoon. Been talking a lot of different sports. Have a listener out there, Tim, that you know well, that's having a birthday, Mike Stamey today.
He's getting old, Ken.
How old is he?
I think he's 156, 57 years old, something like that, Ken.
Oh, maybe it just feels that way. Anyway, happy birthday to him today.
Happy birthday to you, Mike. And I know Mike and Kathy listen to us every Wednesday. And Kathy's going to have surgery again. She's not doing too well. She has some problems with her eye. So, Kathy, we wish you all the luck in the world, too. And so happy birthday to you, Mr. Mike Stamey, my good buddy, Mike Stamey.
Tim, we were talking a little high school football, and there's a bunch of scrimmages going on. Now, you and I is going to head over to a scrimmage. It's happening over here at Cherryville with Cherryville and Lincolnton, and there's a lot of other scrimmages going on today, and scrimmages going on Friday. And one we want to mention Friday, the Cleveland County Jamboree. It's always a big deal where they have a lot of teams come into one location and play from Cleveland County, and so the location is Kings Mountain. And so starting, I think, at 6 o'clock on Friday afternoon over at Kings Mountain, we're going to have a Crest and West Forsyth scrimmage. Then we'll have a Burns AC Rental scrimmage and a Shelby versus
Shelby, who they?
Shelby versus
J.M. Roseboro, is that who it is? Okay.
J.M. Roberson.
Roberson, okay, I'm sorry. Roberson, that's right. And I tell you, Ken, that's a defending state champion right there.
Yes.
4 years in a row at Shelby High School. So we get to see them.
So we'll get to, Tim and I will be there, and we're going to be there for some of those games. And the last game, Kings Mountain versus Newton Conover. And we'll be checking that game out. Newton Conover, one of the teams in the South Fork.
It's Matt Beam and the boys.
2A, Matt Beam. And so we'll be there to check those out. So KTC Broadcasting to have some folks there for each one of those scrimmages. And so that's going on as well as what's going on over in Shelby at the World Series.
You also got the Gaston County Jamboree. Is that right?
Yeah, and that's over
Stuart Kramer.
Stuart Kramer on Friday night. And you've got
East Lincoln and North Lincoln.
And North Lincoln involved with that.
Right.
I think East is playing Stuart Kramer.
They are.
North is playing North Gaston.
Yep.
And so we'll be.
So we got football in Lincolnton. They're up in the mountains, I believe. In West Lincoln, they're up in the mountains. So those two teams.
They'll be away on Friday.
Yes,
so they will be in the area. West Lincoln's going to be up at Avery County, and Lincoln's going to be up at Ashe County.
Right.
So,
right.
So they're getting the scrimmages in, Tim, because a week from this Friday they'll have their first game, and we'll be covering. KTC will have their 7 games that they'll be covering every Friday night.
Where are we at, Ken?
Tim and I will be covering the Lincoln County, a lot of the Lincoln County team games, and we'll be at. I
was going to say, what game are we at, Kenny? I know is it the North Lincoln game or East Lincoln
We're
game?
At East Lincoln at Forest View.
Forest View, okay.
On 8/18.
So we'll be there. So we'll be ready to go.
We'll be there and ready to go, and
come out and say hello to us when you see us.
Yeah, KTC Broadcasting will be doing a lot of other games across Lincoln County, Cleveland County, and Gaston County.
And like you said, Ken, a lot of football happening. We're excited about the First Federal Lincoln County High School football show. That'll be cranked up coming up next Friday night on the 18th from 6:30 to 7. That will be on WLON. And also the WOHS guys, they'll be in the studio too. I think Terry Reinhardt, he'll be here, about 5:30? Is that right, Terry? And
Yeah,
and
there'll be a pregame show.
Sure.
I mean, that will start for the games in the area. I think 5:30, and it will go until 6:30 and actually it goes to 7 on some
The
stations.
Crest guys will be cutting off too.
Crest guys will be cutting off, and then we'll be cutting off in the WLON. We'll have the 6:30 to 7 with the Lincoln County show, but they'll have from 5:30 to 6:30 have a lot of pregame coverage with those guys, and then we'll have some specific coverage on Pacific teams, and so we've got the high school football.
We got to cover Ken. KTC Broadcasting's got it covered in all the areas. And also, when you see me and Ken out, come back and talk to us about some high school football or ask us stuff that we can talk about on the show. And like I say, on Wednesdays, we're going to highlight Cherville Ironman, Coach Tim Pruitt, and the guys every Wednesday on our show. That's going to be the Cherville Ironman show as well.
Yes,
so football.
And we'll make sure we cover that. And it's coming, as Tim mentioned earlier in the show, this coming Wednesday, the 16th, we will talk a lot. That show will be concentrating a lot on
absolutely
Lincoln football and Lincoln County high school football,
absolutely,
and a lot on the Lincoln County teams coming up.
All right, Ken, NASCAR news. Martin Truex Jr. wins at Watson Glen, his 4th win of the season. Ken, he is on a roll.
Yeah, he's the top driver this year. There's no doubt about it. Nobody's won as many as he's won 4. I think Jimmy Johnson got 3, but
it still leads to points.
And he's still way ahead in points, both playoff points and the driver points.
In American League and Major League Baseball, the Astros lead the Mariners by 14, and the Indians lead the Royals by 4. And you have the Red Sox over the Yankees. They lead by 4 games as well, Ken. So
your Indians pulling away, Ken. They're pulling away.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I'm liking my Indians.
And the Red Sox starting to pull away.
Yes, I'm telling you, Ken. I'm kind of starting to get a little worried about my Yankees, Ken. They're going to have to. I know they played a series the other day, didn't they not, against the Red Sox?
And they, Judge, who's had a great season. Guess what? You know how baseball is, Tim. You can't stay hot forever, and he's tailed
around him.
He's tailed off. They've made adjustments, and since the All-Star break, he has not hit well. So that kind of stuff happens in baseball. Right. So,
The National League, Ken, is pretty much over for the Dodgers and Nationals. They're going to win that division. The Dodgers are up by 15 games, and the Nationals by 13 games over the Marlins, and then you got the Cubs and Brewers, like you said. That's going to be a tight race. That's going to go down to the finals.
I was expecting the Cubs to pull away and get some distance, but Tim, they can't. They only playing about 500 ball. I mean, they just. Until they play better ball, they're not going to shake the Brewers.
Let me ask you a question. Where's the St. Louis Cardinals at? Because I know they're in that division.
I think they're 3 games back.
I'll tell you what.
Not far back.
Listen to me, Ken.
3 or 3.5, I believe.
That's a team that they can be 4 or 5 games back, and with 7 or 8 games, they find a way to come in there, sneak in there, and get there, and then get in the playoffs and do damage.
Yeah, you can't. You can't just say they're out of it.
No,
the Cardinals always a factor. It seems like they always are.
They're well, and I tell you, they might. I tell you, Ken, farm club wise, they might have the best farm system in baseball. The St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, they seem to just keep playing well and winning.
Putting them out.
Even when they have changes, they lose people, they have injuries, they still seem to play good ball and
Absolutely.
be above 500 every year.
And a lot of people don't realize how important your farm system is. Go back to the Atlanta Braves back in the 90s, late 80s, 90s. They dominated the game of baseball because of their farm system, Ken. And, they had really good people, whether it's coaching, whether it's teaching. They just went out, and their scouting department was the best in baseball, and that's what put them on the map in the 90s.
Tim, another note, sort of a strange story in baseball. Joe West, the senior umpire in the major leagues, he'd been umpiring since 1976. I'm talking about over 40 years. And he's coming up on umpiring his 5,000th Major League Baseball game.
That's a lot of baseball games out there,
and so there was a reporter from USA today interviewing him, trying to get write a story about him. And he was asking him some questions like, what's the strangest play you ever saw? What's the best play you ever saw? Et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
So he asked him, he said, who's the player that complains the most to the umpires? He said, Adrian Beltre. He said, he always thinks no matter if it's right down the middle, he says it's outside or, oh, what was that or something like that. And he said, I told him that he's a great player, but his umpiring stinks. And because he made those comments, sort of in jest, Major League Baseball come out and has suspended Joe West for 3 games.
For telling the truth.
Yes.
And not downing the guy or degrading the guy. He just said, you know, hey, you know, as a ball player, you know,
and think
he
about
pouts.
it. And think about it. Beltre's played for like a little over 21 years.
He's been a great ball player.
He's probably umpired more games that Beltre played than any other umpire because he's been there the whole time.
Is he Hall of Fame material?
Beltre, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because
third baseman.
Oh,
yeah.
Not only with his offensive stats, but he's
defensive,
always been a great defensive third baseman. So he's Hall of Fame.
He's headed.
He's recently got his 3,000th hit, and so he wasn't down him. In fact, he said, "I told him you're a great ball player, but your umpire stinks." Then the umpiring stinks because you can't umpire. You don't know what you're talking about. I mean, you know, something to go back and forth between players and umpires. You know,
they do that all the time. You see them on TV talking.
Yes.
You see them like a lot of times. I know. I've seen kids, as my son as well. He'll look at the umpire and say, "Where was that call at?" You know, just ask him, "Is that your strike?" You know, letting them know. I see Bobby, Coach Reynolds up there at Cherville.
Yeah.
He'll holler and say, "Hey, where was that pitch at?" You just want to know because he could tell his players to look for that pitch.
And all he said was he complains a lot. Well, hey, a hitter wants to get everything he can up there, and I mean, no big deal. He wasn't putting him down. He responded to the question.
If you're getting paid $1 million, wouldn't you want to?
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I don't blame the umpire. You know, give him a response back. That's just the way it is.
And a lot of people don't realize this. Umpires make really, really good money in the Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, it might take you 10 years to get there, but once you get there, you're set for life. You ought to see some of the things. They get free everything. They go free benefits everywhere. And I think the average ump makes it like $300-some thousand a year, Ken.
Well, I don't know, but I know he's.
I know because I checked into it.
I know Joe West makes some.
Oh, he makes more than that.
He makes a lot of money because he's been there a long time.
Yes.
And,
yes.
And so he won't be umpiring for 3 games, but he'll be back in there after that.
Well, Kenny, that's been a great show here today for us. I'd like to say Ken Link, Tim Johnson here every Wednesday on WCSL 1590.
And a lot of stuff going on. Get out and see some sports, whether it be high school football, the American Legion World Series, or some Major League Golf out at the PGA. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on.
We're proud to say that KTC Broadcasting is the home station of Mr. Ken Link and the American Legion World Series, Ken. And I know you're going to be there, buddy.
I'll be there for a lot of games, and I hope to see you there.
Y'all have a great week.
Cherryville Ironman Sports right here on Big O Country, WCSL 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
NCN News, I'm Bruce Farrell. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis is echoing President Trump's warning to North Korea. Here's AP correspondent Ben Thomas.
Defense Secretary Jim Mattis says North Korea should not be weighing actions that would lead to the end of its regime and the destruction of its people. North Korea's army issued a statement earlier today saying it's studying a plan to create an enveloping fire with ballistic missiles in areas around Guam. The Pentagon chief.
Survey from the Democratic.
This will have the effect of making
Best of John Hook here, and you're listening to The Boss. WOHS in Shelby, WLON in Lincolnton, your beach, oldies, and sports station.
And W268CU, Shelby.
NCN News, I'm Bruce Farrell. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis is echoing President Trump.
In a not-so-distant suburb,
on it, Ben Thomas.
Defense Secretary Jim Mattis says North Korea should not be weighing actions that would lead to the end of its regime and the destruction of its people. North Korea's army issued a statement earlier today saying it's studying a plan to create an enveloping fire with ballistic missiles in areas around Guam. The Pentagon chief responded by saying any action by North Korea would be grossly overmatched by the U.S., and Pyongyang would lose any arms race or conflict it starts. Ben